This is a Dynamite Network podcast.
Hi, welcome to the Dynamic Duel podcast, a weekly show where we review superhero films and debate the superiority between Marvel and DC by comparing their characters in stat-based battle simulations. I'm Marvelous Joe.
And I'm his twin brother, Johnny DC.
And in this episode, we're going to find out who would win in a fight between the two trident-wielding badasses, Ocean Master, who's an Aquaman villain, and Hellstorm, who is a sometimes Lord of Hell and then sometimes hero. It's a little bit strange.
Yeah, actually, sometimes the Ocean Master is somewhat heroic, when he's acting for the benefit of Atlantis.
Yeah, I don't know if I would call them anti-heroes. I guess at one point Hellstorm was an anti-hero, but I think I would consider them more anti-villains, if that's even a term. If not, I just coined it. I want a quarter every time somebody says it.
So now no one's going to say it.
Either way, we're going to find out who's going to win in this matchup later on this episode. Before we do that, we're going to break down the latest comic book movie news from this past week, of which there was no news, so I take back what I just said. But as always, we list our segment times in our episode description, so feel free to check out the show notes if you want to skip ahead to our particular topic.
Our artificially intelligent duel simulator, AJ9K, has a quick message for our listeners, so listen up.
Why, hello there. Do you want even more from this podcast? Then become a part of the Dynamic Duel community on Patreon, where you can choose from 3 tiers. The Dynamic 2.0 tier gives you access to our Discord chat server, the Fantastic 4 tier gives you 2 bonus episodes each month, and the X-Force tier makes you an executive producer of this show. Lastly, the Dynamite Podcast Network tier lets you create your own podcast using this Monte Carlo simulator. Johnny and Joe will help you develop your show, provide graphic support and consultation, and get you simulation results. Pitch the twins your ideas via email at dynamicduelpodcast@gmail.com. Check it out at patreon.com/dynamicduel. Pip pip cheerio.
Thanks, AJ9K, and thanks to everyone who supports the podcast.
Guys, be sure to tune in to the other shows on the Dynamite Podcast Network this week, including the Console Combat Podcast, where hosts John and Dean simulate battles between popular video game characters. In yesterday's episode, they reviewed the 2005 film Doom.
Over on the Max Destruction podcast, hosts Scotty and Gilly pit your favorite action heroes from film and television against each other. On Wednesday, they're going to find out who would win between Sam Wilson's Captain America and Peacemaker.
And on the Senjo World podcast, host Zachary Hepburn speculates on fights between fan favorite anime and manga characters. In his next episode, Zach is revealing who would win between Whitebeard and Kenpachi, both from One Piece.
Visit dynamicpodcasts.com or click the link in our show notes to listen to all of the shows in the Dynamite Podcast Network.
But with that out of the way,
quick to the No Prize. A No Prize is an award that Marvel used to give out to fans. Our version, the Dynamic Duel No Prize, is a digital award we post on Instagram for the person that we feel gave the best answer to our question of the week.
Last week we asked you guys, besides Batman, Spider-Man, and Wolverine, which Marvel or DC character do you most want to play as in a single-player adventure video game? And this was coming off of the trailer that we received for the upcoming Marvel's Wolverine action-adventure game that's coming out for the PS5 next year. We got a whole lot of answers for this one, so let's go ahead and run down our 3 honorable mentions as well as the No Prize winner.
Our first honorable mention goes to Kaio, who said,
"Hi guys, I was watching the CW Flash show the other day, and I was just thinking how cool a Flash video game would be. Like the map traversal would be pretty cool since he has super speed. And then maybe the combat could be the kind of have some moves like the Fear multi-takedowns from the Batman Arkham Knight game. But yeah, that's my answer. Also, when are you gonna review your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man?"
We're not. We have too many duels to get through before the end of the show. But as far as a Flash video game goes, I imagine that the entire game would almost have to be in bullet time, like slow motion, right? For it to make sense.
Maybe. So there was a side-scrolling Flash video game for the Game Boy Advance. It was a Justice League Heroes tie-in, but specifically for the character of the Flash. I don't know if you could do a Flash game in 3D, but I think if you made one that was like Sonic the Hedgehog, just really fast-paced, You would definitely need some homing attacks, just because I feel like with his speed, it would be really easy to lose control of the character. But it could be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, Sonic has homing attacks, so yeah,
True.
that would be badass. A Flash game in the style of Sonic the Hedgehog. Hell yeah.
Great answer, Kyle. Our next honorable mention goes to Travis Herndon, who said,
What's up, dynamic dudes? Travis here. Shout out to my evil twin. So my pick would be Ghost Rider. I mean, come on. Ghost Rider is a cool superhero. He has a badass rogues gallery that can easily fit into a game. And then you can either choose between Johnny Blaze, Danny Ketch, Robbie Reyes, and just go around fighting demons on a motorcycle or a demonic charger. I mean, come on. That speaks for itself. So yeah, my pick would be Ghost Rider.
Hell yeah, bro. You see what I did right there? Hell yeah. That would be a great video game. I would love a Ghost Rider game to be an action-adventure style video game, kind of like Spider-Man and the upcoming Wolverine game, but also have like almost racing levels. I guess it wouldn't quite be racing. It would be more like motorcycle combat, which I think you could develop a really cool fighting system based off of like high-speed chase fighting. I would love a game like that. Like some adventures would be maybe in the desert, some would be in the city, some would maybe even be in hell, and like hell landscapes where like you like ramp off of things and jump over lakes of fire and do loop-de-loops or shit. I don't know. It would be awesome. The penance stare I think would look really cool in a video game.
I mean, you kind of sold me on the racing aspect. I think that'd be really cool.
Great answer, Travis. Our next honorable mention goes to Frank, who said,
Hey guys, a type of video game I would like to see is a Blade video game. It's the obvious answer. You either go in with the badassery and get a hack and slash like Devil May Cry, or you focus on the vampire horror and make it like Resident Evil. It's just the obvious answer.
absolutely. I think Blade would be made for the hack and slash genre. Very similar to Devil May Cry. Just put them in a whole horde of vampires and then just like Dynasty Warriors that shit, right? That would be such a cool game.
That would be awesome.
There was like a Blade 2 video game that I remember owning for the PS2 way back in the day in the early aughts. And it was so bad. But most movie adaptations around that time were also bad, except for Spider-Man 2. That was a great video game. But yeah, I think Blade is rife for a new video game undertaking in the single player action adventure hack and slash genre.
Dude, so many video game characters are ripe for a video game adaptation. Like, if it's true what they say that, you know, there's superhero movie fatigue, I hope that there's not superhero video game fatigue. And that just continues to get better and better. Like, DC Studios is a division dedicated just to movies. They need a DC division dedicated just to video games.
Well, Marvel has a Marvel Games division because we have our shit together.
Okay, well, look at you.
Hey, hi.
Bragging piece of shit.
Great answer, Frank. We want to give a quick shout out to Sheldon Moore and Lorenzo Valdez for taking the time to call in with your answer. But the winner of this week's Snow Prize is actually split between two people, Alex Albro and Riziel, who gave the same answer, and that is...
Hey guys, I think Green Lantern has a really good argument for a video game. Starting on Earth, inevitably you get the ring, and then you leave Earth patrolling all the sectors of the universe, and as you interact with different Green Lanterns and different lanterns of different color spectrums, and as you defeat more villains, you gain more abilities, more power. I think each sector could have a different style of gameplay and a different villain, different power-ups, and it's not necessarily endless, but it has a lot of meat on the bone for a good campaign. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, Riziel here. I'm thinking an RPG action game where, like a normal game would have mana, you have to pay attention to. This one is battery level instead. You make your constructs with templates beforehand where you can make whatever you want, but the more pieces you use, like Lego style, the more battery it's going to use while you're out on an actual mission. Once you run out of battery, you just go back and have to start over, or you fail that one.
Or you have to take time to say the oath, which is really long, and you're probably going to get your ass kicked as you're doing it.
Well, you got to run home and grab your battery first, and then say the oath.
Oh, yeah.
Both these guys gave great ideas for both the story and mechanics of a Green Lantern action-adventure video game. I really love how Alex focused on how like you unlock new moves as you go along and meet different lanterns among the different spectrums. And then Riziel came in with the whole construct building mechanic. I think both of those are brilliant. I think Warner Brothers is fucking stupid for not having made this game already because it literally sounds like money waiting on the table.
Yeah, talk about an open world game. How about an open universe game where you could go to different planets? That's wild.
Like, you think about like the build system in games like Fortnite, or even probably more apt, Breath of the Wild and the recent Tears of the Kingdom for Legend of Zelda, how you could basically build all these creative things. Do that for Green Lantern. That's his whole concept.
Yeah, and you can make the planets small. It's like you don't even need to include Earth in a video game like this. Just include a whole bunch of small planets.
Right, yeah. So throw in a little bit of like loose gravity, like Super Mario Galaxy. I mean, it's just a fantastic game idea.
You know what was a really cool DC game that they actually could have made into solely a Green Lantern game? Scribblenauts Unmasked. And in that game, you can create anything just by typing in a prompt.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't make for the most fast-paced gameplay, but it's an opportunity to be really creative and solve challenges with your creativity.
I'm there for it. Yeah, you just introduced the idea of puzzle elements within this game. There's just so much there with the Green Lantern video game. It's ripe. It's there for the picking, DC. Take it.
It would be way better than anything Marvel could do.
No, I don't think so. That's not right.
Sorry, but it's true.
Great answer either way, Alex and Raziel. You guys win this week's No Prize.
If you, the listener, want a shot at winning your own No Prize, stay tuned to later on in this episode when we'll be asking another question of the week.
And now that that's done,
on to the question of the week.
For the Halloween season coming up here, what do you think has been the scariest moment in a Marvel or DC film or TV series? We're talking about the moments that made you shit your pants or jump out of your seat.
Or jump out of your seat because you shit your pants.
We want to hear about it.
I mean, not you shitting your pants, but about the moment.
Go ahead and record your answer at dynamicduel.com by clicking on the red microphone button in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, which will prompt you to leave us a voicemail. Your message could be up to 30 seconds long, and don't forget to leave your name in case we include you on the podcast. We'll pick our favorite answer and award that person a Dynamic Duel No Prize that we'll post to Instagram. Be sure to answer before October 11th. But I think we'll go ahead and get into the main event for this episode now, where we find out who would win in a fight between the Aquaman villain, Ocean Master, and one of the Lords of Hell for Marvel, Hellstorm. All right, Ocean Master versus Hellstorm. Now, the reason we decided to do this matchup was, one, due to the executive producers who thought this might make for a good Halloween duel, considering Hellstorm is one of the Lords of Hell in Marvel. And, you know, Ocean Master, he's not, like, scary in a Halloween sense, but he is a villain, so there's that whole dark, evil aspect going there. So, yeah, I think this is a good Halloween episode.
Yeah, both of the characters are like these sorcerers who carry tridents, essentially. Plus, you got the whole water versus fire dynamic going on. It's pretty cool, I think. I was excited when I heard this matchup come up.
Yeah, same. Both of these characters have had live action, film, and television appearances. Hellstorm actually had his own series on Hulu called Hellstrom. Now, they kind of played it out very differently than it is in the comics. They really focused on his like supernatural detective era from the comic books. But Ocean Master was pretty accurately depicted in the Aquaman films, I feel, by Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, I would say they did a really good job adapting Orm, for sure. But before we get into the match, to explain the methodology behind our duels, let's go to our sentient duel simulator, Alfred Jarvis 9000. AJ9K, tell our listeners how you go about determining a winner in our duel matchups.
Yes, of course, sir. The way I determine a winner between the contestants is by running 1,000 Monte Carlo simulations using the character's statistics. A Monte Carlo simulation is a probabilistic model used to determine outcomes through random sampling. In this case, I randomize the statistics along a normal distribution as a way to simulate the many variables that can occur during battle. The stat parameters are based on the official Marvel power grid from which the DC character's statistics are extrapolated. Additional stat categories are included such as range, damage potential, versatility, and perception in order to create a more detailed and accurate simulation. The results of the 1,000 simulations provide a percentage of wins for each character. The contestant with the higher percentage is declared the victor, as they have a higher probability to win any given battle. In an equitable pairing, neither character should win 100% of the matches. The comic book stories have shown that there's even a way for Batman to defeat Superman, so the confidence rate of my method falls in line with the precedents that have been established in the source material. My mathematical simulations are without subjectivity or bias. Feats are not the sole consideration, nor are fan votes tabulated for determination of the winner.
Thanks, AJ9K. Before we run the simulations, though, we like to break down each of the characters' histories and abilities before improvising a scenario on how we imagine one of the 1000 simulations would play out beat for beat.
And it's my turn to go first with the DC character's backstory, so let me tell you all about Ocean Master. Orm Marius was born to the Atlantean wizard king, King Atlan, and an Inupiat woman from the Arctic Circle. Though Atlantean, Orm was raised far from the undersea realm, among the icy northern tribes of his mother's people. He grew up restless and alienated, a misfit in a world of tradition. His mother often spoke of the sea and of the father who had vanished beneath it, filling Orm's imagination with dreams of a forgotten kingdom that he believed was his birthright. When a young Arthur Curry rescued Orm's cousin Keiko from a polar bear attack, the outcast Inupiat saw in the blonde stranger everything he lacked: strength, charisma, and acceptance. Orm watched his people embrace Arthur with warmth they had never shown him. Jealousy festered until, in a moment of rage, he attacked Keiko after learning she had grown close to the outsider. Though she survived, her memory of the assault was lost, and Arthur was blamed and cast out for bringing a curse upon the village. Orm's hatred deepened, and when whispers of Atlantis reached him through magic and legend, he abandoned the surface to find the kingdom of his bloodline. He re-emerged years later as Ocean Master, a pirate sorcerer wielding the dark gifts inherited from his father's lineage. Neither he nor Arthur yet knew they were half-brothers, bound by Atlan's prophecy that his sons would one day battle for dominion over the seas. You can learn more about Arthur in our Aquaman vs. Submariner Duel episode. Ocean Master's rise began with fleets of submersibles and legions of mercenaries who plundered the oceans, attacking ships in coastal cities in his quest to force the world to acknowledge his supremacy. His growing collection of Atlantean relics and increasing mastery of ancient sorcery grew with each conquest, making him a formidable foe even to Aquaman. Their first clashes revealed uncanny similarities between them: strength, willpower, and the same innate connection to the sea. Though neither man understood their bond at first, Arthur later uncovered the truth through Atlantean records and realized that Orm was his half-brother, the second son of Atlan. Driven by envy and destiny, Orm became obsessed with claiming the throne of Atlantis. To augment his power, he sought forbidden sources of magic and made a pact with the demon lord Neron, selling his soul for an enchanted trident. The weapon magnified his control over the elements, allowing him to summon lightning and tempests, but it cursed him with unending pain whenever he was separated from it, scarring his face and warping his mind. With his new power, Orm conquered the Dreaming City, an Atlantean offshoot civilization, and enslaved its citizens. Aquaman confronted Orm, revealing their shared parentage, but the revelation shattered Orm's sanity. The trident's magic burned through him, leaving him disfigured and broken. In time, Orm recovered, turning his intellect and sorcery toward manipulation and conquest from the shadows. He joined Lex Luthor's Injustice Gang and later the Secret Society of Supervillains, forming alliances with other enemies of the Justice League to extend his influence beyond the seas. When Atlantis suffered devastation from the wrath of the Spectre, Orm enslaved the survivors, forcing them to mine resources for his undersea empire. His rule was merciless, his ambition unrelenting, and his hatred for Aquaman only deepened as the world continued to favor his brother as its champion. Ocean Master's sorcery reached its peak when he used a spell focused through the bones of Aquaman's lost hand to rewrite reality itself, exchanging identities with his brother. In this false world, Orm ruled Atlantis as its beloved king, while Arthur, cursed with Ocean Master's memories, was hunted as a villain. For a time, Orm reveled in the adoration and power he believed he deserved, yet the illusion unraveled when Dr. Geist, a human scientist known to Orm, revealed the deception. Aquaman destroyed the spell's anchor, restoring reality and leaving Orm once more stripped of the throne he coveted. Orm later resurfaced within the ranks of the Secret Society's inner circle and clashed repeatedly with both the Justice League and his half-brother. As the age of magic shifted, Orm enslaved what remained of Atlantis' people again, forging a brutal new kingdom in the ruins. When the magic wars consumed the oceanic world, Orm was thought dead, but he survived, retreating into the shadows to await another opportunity to reclaim what he believed was his destiny. In post-Flashpoint continuity, Orm was born the son of Queen Atlanta and the Atlantean warlord Orvex Marius, raised as a prince in the royal palace and unaware that his mother had once borne another son with a surface man, Tom Curry. When he learned that Arthur Curry, the so-called Aquaman, was his half-brother, Orm grew conflicted. He loved his brother and wished to reunite their family, but he despised the surface world for its pollution and arrogance. His father's militarism and his mother's mysterious death hardened him into a ruler who valued order above compassion. When Arthur discovered Atlantis with the exiled Vulko's help, Orm welcomed him and briefly ceded the throne, believing his brother's rule could unite their divided worlds. But when the surface launched missiles that accidentally struck near Atlantis, Orm perceived it as an attack. Acting on old war plans he and Arthur had drafted together, he unleashed devastating floods upon the coasts of Boston, Metropolis, and Gotham, killing thousands. Declaring war on the surface, he led Atlantean armies to battle until the Justice League intervened. Aquaman pleaded with Orm to stop, but when the truth came to light that Vulko had manipulated events to restore Arthur to power, Orm was defeated and taken to the surface for trial. Stripped of his crown and imprisoned in Belle Reve, he came to despise the name Ocean Master, a mocking title given to him by the surface media. During a global crisis brought by the crime syndicate, Orm escaped his cell and wandered to the surface, where he saved a woman named Erin Shaw and her young son Tommy from rioters. He found solace in their companionship, living quietly as a father figure and telling the boy stories of the sea. Years later, when he learned Atlantis was again at war and Aquaman presumed dead, Orm left them behind to reclaim his throne. He confronted Mera and Tula on the surface, demanding Atlantis' crown, but Mera defeated him in battle using her hydrokinetic powers. Imprisoned once more, Orm was freed when alien sea gods invaded and transformed Atlantis' citizens into monsters. Fighting alongside Mera, he helped her seek an artifact capable of killing gods, but was himself corrupted by the invaders' waters and transformed into one of their servants. After the gods' defeat, Orm returned to his senses, haunted by what he had become. In the aftermath, he vanished into the lower depths of Atlantis, living among the destitute of the Ninth Tribe. There he learned of the legend of King Dagon, a forgotten monarch who once ruled the oceans through a bound elemental named Lernea. Pursuing the myth, Orm descended into the ocean's abyss and found the imprisoned Lernea herself. Freeing her from her bonds, he gained her loyalty and founded a new kingdom for the displaced and the damned, the city of Dagon. Rejecting overtures from Apex Lex Luthor to join the Legion of Doom, Orm instead built his own domain, declaring independence from both Atlantis and the surface world. When he returned to the surface to explain his disappearance to Erin, she rejected him. Unwilling to live in the shadow of his warlike ambitions, Orm left heartbroken, but vowed one day to offer Tommy the chance to succeed him as king of Dagon. From the depths of his new city, Orm began plotting once more, gathering outcasts and mutants to his cause. When Queen Mera fell into a coma, he sought to exploit the power vacuum, manipulating Dagon's populace and even orchestrating the abduction of Aquaman and Mera's infant daughter to discredit her rule. His deception was exposed, and his elemental ally turned against him, forcing Orm to concede defeat and accept Mera's plan to abolish Atlantis' monarchy. Though stripped of power yet again, he remained in the shadows, commanding loyalty among those who believed in his vision of an ocean ruled by strength and purity. In the years that followed, Orm allied with the Scavenger and other undersea warlords to destabilize Atlantis, seeking to resurrect his empire through subterfuge and terror. Now, powers-wise, as a pure-blooded Atlantean of royal descent, Ocean Master possesses immense strength, speed, durability, and stamina, allowing him to survive the crushing pressure and frigid darkness of the deep ocean. His enhanced senses grant perfect vision in the blackest depths and hearing capable of detecting movement miles away. A skilled tactician and warrior, Orm is trained in all forms of Atlantean combat and command. His enchanted trident, forged in Atlantis, channels lightning, conjures storms, and focuses his arcane power, while his royal mask crown amplifies his hydrokinesis, enabling him to command the tides and summon devastating tsunamis. And that's Ocean Master.
He's not that scary. I don't know if this is a good Halloween episode after all.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's nothing scarier than the ocean, bro. Do you know what's down there? Freaking no one does. You go down there and you see him, yeah, you're going to be shitting yourself in that water.
I can think of a lot of things underneath the water that would make me shit my pants more than some dude wearing a goofy looking helmet. That being said, one of my most frequent recurring nightmares is one of a tidal wave.
Oh, really? That's interesting. You know what that means, right?
What?
It means that you have poor taste in comic books.
What?
Yes, it's science.
I think it means that I have awesome taste in comic books. I'm just like swimming in all the awesomeness that is Marvel.
Is that what happens in your dream? The tidal wave crashes on you and you're just swimming?
No.
Yeah.
It's more like I'm trying to like get to higher ground and run, basically. Anyway, enough about that. Let's go ahead and get into the backstory for Hellstorm. Damon Hellstrom was born in Greentown, Massachusetts, the son of Victoria Wingate and the Hell Lord who called himself Satan. Victoria's parents had sold her to the Chapel of Dresden, a fanatical occult sect once allied with Nazi Germany who hoped to bring about a messianic human-demon hybrid. Rituals and glyphs were carved into Victoria's body to prepare her as a vessel, and when Satan came to Earth in human guise, he seduced and married her. The two settled in Massachusetts, where Damon was born a year later. Damon's infancy was marked by sinister conditioning. He was fed human blood and marked with a pentagram birthmark. His father's interest soon shifted to his younger sister, Satana, born 3 years later, who proved more receptive to his teachings. Damon, meanwhile, bonded with his mother, never fully aware of his father's identity. When their mother witnessed Satan's true demonic form, she was driven insane, and the children were separated. Victoria was institutionalized, Satana taken to hell to be raised by her father, and Damon placed in an orphanage. On visits, his mother entrusted him with an Ankh pendant, claiming it was his sole protection against Satan. She also revealed the existence of Netheranium, a rare infernal metal capable of harming his father. As Damon matured, he pursued theology, studying under Father Raymond Gossett in a Jesuit monastery. He prepared for ordination, but turned away from the priesthood when his mother died and he inherited the Massachusetts estate. Exploring the mansion, Damon discovered her diary, confirming his lineage. He was drawn to the portal in the basement leading to Hell, where Satan revealed himself and offered Damon eternal life and power if he served him. Damon refused, instead stealing his father's trident, forged of Netheranium, and his demon-drawn chariot, escaping back to Earth. He also discovered the powers of his dark soul, the infernal inherited energy that granted him great magical might. Swearing to fight his father's evil, Damon became the hero called Son of Satan. He balanced his civilian life as a scholar of the occult with a secret role as an exorcist and demon fighter. Damon assisted Linda Littletrees, the witch woman, which led to his first team-up with Ghost Rider against Satan himself. He clashed with demonic beings such as Drivenextes and Cathara, and even battled his sister Satana when she surfaced on Earth as a succubus. He grew known as a leading demonologist and frequently collaborated with superheroes, including the Fantastic Four. His reputation grew when he joined the Defenders, assisting them against the alien Nebulon, the Sons of the Serpent, and the demonic alliance known as the Six-Fingered Hand, whose manipulations nearly merged Earth with Hell. During his tenure with the Defenders, Damon fell in love with teammate Patsy Walker, aka Hellcat, whom you can learn more about in her duel with Catwoman. Their relationship was tested by his father, who transformed Patsy into a demon to torment him. Damon agreed to stay in Hell to secure her freedom, but ultimately rebelled and returned to Earth. Rejoining the Defenders, he fought alongside them against threats including Asmodeus, the Resistance, and the Miracle Man. The Miracle Man stole Damon's dark soul, trapping it in a serpent. Deprived of his demonic half, Damon lost much of his power but was freed from his infernal corruption. Believing himself cured, he retired his Son of Satan identity. He married Patsy, and together they moved to San Francisco, operating as paranormal investigators while Damon taught parapsychology. To shield his reputation as a scholar, he began using the alias Hellstorm when battling supernatural forces in public. The two occasionally aided other heroes, including the West Coast Avengers, and confronted foes such as Master Pandemonium the cat people, and demonic spirits tied to the Phantom Rider. But the absence of Damon's dark soul left him gravely weakened. In desperation, Patsy summoned Satan through the Grimorium Verum, a book of dark spells, pleading for her husband's life. Satan restored Damon's dark soul, but Patsy was driven insane at the sight of his full demonic essence. Though Damon admitted gratitude, he coldly confessed he would have let her die in the same situation. Her mind shattered. Patsy eventually took her own life under the influence of a being named Death Urge. Emboldened, Damon reclaimed his role in the occult world, forging alliances with figures such as Necra, the Gargoyle, Gabriel the Devil Hunter, and his new lover, Janie Cutter. He struck a bargain with the witch Lavoisin, fathering her child in exchange for knowledge of his father's true name. Armed with this secret, Damon slew Satan, aka Marduk Kyrios, inheriting his black halo and lordship of his hell realm. He proclaimed his rule as a balance between heaven and hell, ensuring neither could dominate humanity's destiny. From this position, Damon grew ever more manipulative. He participated in conflicts involving Selene and Blackheart's demonic Hellfire Club, a select group of mutants and demons attempting to exert control over society. Damon took a seat in its inner circle as the White King, claiming to balance good and evil. He deceived the Thunderbolts into rescuing Patsy's soul from Mephisto's realm, enabling her resurrection. At times he spread deliberate falsehoods about his lineage, claiming even to be the son of another Hell Lord named Satanish, a ploy to distance Patsy from him and protect her from the horrors of his life as a Hell Lord. Using such lies, he briefly assumed control of Satanish's Hell Realm and Dormammu's claim to rule through the flames of Faltine, though Mephisto soon seized most of the territory. You can learn more about Dormammu and Mephisto in their respective duels against Trigon and Sandman. Damon remained embroiled in battles among Hell Lords. When Dormammu attempted to annex Hell, Damon allied with Mephisto, Hela, Pluto, and Patsy to repel the invasion. He later confronted angelic forces during the angel Zadkiel's takeover of Heaven, hunting a boy prophesied as the Antichrist, named Anton Satan. Damon, Janie Cutter, Ghost Rider, and others pursued Anton, though Damon argued for killing him outright, only relenting when pressed to prioritize defeating Zadkiel. He later became involved in the contest for Sorcerer Supreme after Doctor Strange steps down, though Brother Voodoo ultimately inherited the mantle. After a demonic invasion of Las Vegas, Damon discovered that a prophecy called the Descent was real. A day when a Hell Lord would gain greater power, those they had marked would transform into demons, and their heirs would ascend from hell. Damon betrayed the Avengers and allied with the Red Skull's daughter Sin in a plan to raise the world. He later fell victim to revenge by Brother Voodoo's brother, a spirit named Daniel Drum, who killed Damon, though his spirit endured. Revived, Damon joined Baron Zemo's Masters of Evil and fought in a war of gods in a desperate stand against the Shinto god of evil to whom Hell had fallen. Later, Damon accepted a teaching role at Strange Academy in New Orleans, instructing students in infernal magic alongside the mutant Magic, whom you can learn more about in her duel against Deadman. And that's Hellstorm's backstory. Powers-wise, Damon is the son of the Hell Lord Marduk Kyrios, aka Satan. His demonic soul grants him enhanced physiology with enhanced strength, able to lift over 1 ton, and bulletproof durability. He can generate and manipulate soulfire, a version of hellfire that can hurt demons, which he can also form into constructs such as shields or restraints. He could also use the soulfire to fly or burn holes through reality to create teleportation portals. Hellstorm can use magic to project a psychic astral form and read the thoughts of others. He has spells for healing, hypnotizing, scrying, exorcising, shapeshifting, and more, as well as mystic senses. He wields a Netheranium trident, through which he can channel his powers and use as a weapon. He is a skilled supernatural detective with advanced knowledge of theology, the occult, and the supernatural. And that is Hellstorm.
I can't believe that Marvel is dumb enough to use a name like Son of Satan as the name of a superhero. Like, who's going to be calling for him to save them? Oh, save me, Son of Satan.
Yeah, actually, the original name of that comic book was Mark of Satan before Marvel decided to change it. It was supposed to be along the same lines of the Tomb of Dracula comic book series. I don't know why Son of Satan is a better title than Mark of Satan. But yeah, if I had a choice of heroes to save me, it wouldn't be him, largely because he's a selfish son of a bitch. And that's probably why he grew more villainous over time. Although all of a sudden they have him teaching in Strange Academy as if he wasn't a villain, it's all very strange. Academy.
In a world where fantasies collide and heroes clash, one podcast network rises above the rest. Prepare yourself for the ultimate showdowns in comic books, video games, movies, and anime. The Dynamite Podcast Network presents Console Combat, where video game legends brawl every Monday. Dynamic Duel, where comic book titans smash every Tuesday. Max Destruction, where TV and action heroes battle every Wednesday. And Sendro World, where anime champions clash every Thursday. Join us as we speculate on the matches and, armed with the power of mathematical simulations, discover who will emerge victorious. Visit dynamicpodcast.com, where we settle the debate and settle the score.
Well, now that we've got their histories and abilities out of the way, let's speculate on how one of the 1,000 simulated matches will go. The winner is determined by simulations, not the speculation. But it's fun to imagine how the fight could play out. AJ9K, what are the rules of our speculation?
Well, I should say there are no rules, other than the characters have no prior knowledge of the other going into the fight. All they are aware of starting out is that the other character is a threat that needs to be eliminated. For the speculation, the contestants will begin approximately 50 meters apart in a nondescript environment that will have no bearing on the match itself, as no environmental statistics are considered in my simulations. The contestants must earn victory on their own merit.
All right, then let's get into it. Ocean Master and Hellstorm meet on the battlefield. Who goes first?
I'm going to say Ocean Master starts off by raising his trident and summoning a giant-ass tidal wave straight from your nightmares, which rushes in from behind Ocean Master and crashes right on top of Hellstorm, just drowning his ass.
No, because Hellstorm would see the water coming at him, and as the wave approaches, he just slams his trident into the ground and parts that water like the Red Sea, creating like this like wedge of heat that like separates the waves. And so like there's this lane of dryness between the parted waters, and through that, Hellstorm shoots out this like massive soulfire blast in the shape of a pentagram at Ocean Master, and it just hits him, and Ocean Master gets burned alive.
Well, no, because as that's coming at Ocean Master, he's just going to dive into one of the walls of water to his side and use that to swim towards Hellstorm. And he's going to manipulate the body of water he's in to swirl around Hellstorm, trapping him in this massive whirlpool and allowing Ocean Master to just swim around him and stab him a bunch of times.
Hellstorm could fly though, so no, he's not getting pulled into the water. He actually hovers above it, and then he dips his trident into the water, which sets everything to an instant boil. So all the water evaporates, and all that's left is just Ocean Master, who's freshly cooked.
I mean, that's a lot of water to boil. So let's say Ocean Master, he's steamed, not boiled, but he'll cool off because he's going to summon a rainstorm that's just going to drench the environment once again, and it's going to pummel Hellstorm with hailstones the size of literal cats and dogs.
Dogs like chihuahuas, you mean?
St. Bernards, bitch.
Who cares? Either way, Hellstorm is going to create a like spherical fire shield around him, and hail is not going to get through that because Pokemon rules. Fire beats ice. And within his fire shield, Hellstorm's eyes burn, and he casts a hypnotizing spell to take over Ocean Master's mind. And now Ocean Master's eyes burn because he's under Hellstorm's control.
Ocean Master literally wears a mask that covers his eyes. I don't think that spell is going to work on him. In fact, Marvel probably has some dumb rule against that. Like, you know how you can't be mind controlled if you wear a helmet?
No, I mean, like, this is more demon possession than psychic mind control. It's more like Exorcist than Professor X, right? So Ocean Master gets mind controlled and his eyes burn through his mask.
Okay, but Ocean Master is Homo Magi Atlantean royalty. So he's going to be able to realize that Hellstorm is trying to possess him. So he's going to cast his own Atlantean spell that's going to stop what Hellstorm is doing and flood Hellstorm's mind with negative thoughts of all the crap he's done, like betray his wife and the Avengers and, you know, just general evil doing. And this is going to put him in mental anguish and cause him to be like, oh no, I suck. And he's going to drop his shield and his trident and he's going to fall to the ground.
That may have stopped Hellstorm's possession spell, but he's not going to feel that bad. He's one of the Lords of Hell, right? So after he falls to the ground, he's just going to get right back up, unfazed. And he points his trident at Ocean Master and manifests these fire rings around him, binding him in fire. And then he telekinetically pulls Ocean Master toward him right onto his trident, impaling him like a shish kebab.
Okay, well, as Ocean Master is being pulled toward Hellstorm, he's going to cast a teleportation spell. And actually, he's going to cast an illusion spell at the same time, so Hellstorm thinks he's impaled Ocean Master, when in reality, Ocean Master is now behind Hellstorm, and he's going to impale him instead with his electrified trident that's going to overload and kill Hellstorm. Match over.
But the moment this illusion Ocean Master gets impaled, Hellstorm's trident is going to burn the illusion away. So Hellstorm realizes the deception with enough time to spin around and block Ocean Master's electric trident attack. He just smacks his trident away, and then Hellstorm summons a Hellfire portal that sends them both to Hell, where Ocean Master just burns in agony, instantly desiccates into this skeleton of ash and embers, and that is where the match ends.
In Hell?
Yep.
I mean, Ocean Master, he's just going to conjure these massive geysers that are going to flood the entire realm, drowning everyone, all the demons in Hellstorm. So yeah, he's fine. He just has a new realm to rule over, I guess.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
What?
You can't flood hell. It's too hot. All the water would just evaporate. It's not like it's magic water. It has a boiling point.
It is literally magic water.
What? No, it's
magic.
Water summoned through magic. It's not magic water.
That makes it magic.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and leave the match there. One of two scenarios happens. Either Ocean Master burns alive in hell, or he floods hell and drowns Hellstorm. Which of those sound even remotely possible?
It was holy water. Now what do you say?
Hey, you may have me there. But let's go ahead and input the stats, run the simulations, and come back with a winner.
AJ9K, hit it.
Inputting data, running calculations, processing results, simulations complete.
This is a damn good matchup, man. Damn good matchup. Both of these guys are insanely powerful. They can both do teleportation.
They can both do magic. They both have elemental magical powers with their tridents.
They're both highly versatile, although Hellstorm comes out a little bit ahead there just because he has a lot more psychic feats than Ocean Master, which is also why Hellstorm has the advantage in perception.
Right, Hellstorm also had the advantage in evasiveness, but Ocean Master had the edge in durability and strength thanks to his Atlantean physiology.
Which is apparently stronger than demonic physiology, because Hellstorm is only credited with lifting about a ton, whereas Ocean Master can lift about as much as Aquaman.
The range on Ocean Master and the damage level is off the charts. His feat of destroying entire cities thanks to his mask crown and the bodies of water he's able to control with that is just freaking brutal.
I mean, I've seen Hellstorm blow up a few buildings with Hellfire, but I don't think I've ever seen him level entire cities simultaneously. So Ocean Master got the edge in damage level, and I guess fighting skill, because Ocean Master is more formally trained than Hellstorm.
Right, he was like a master of Atlantean combat at age 8. So taking all of these stats into account, Joseph, who do you think is coming out on top in this match?
To quote an X-Men movie, why do you ask questions to which you already know the answer?
Because I want to make sure that you are thinking the same thing I am.
Oh, I am. Hellstorm.
That's not what I was thinking.
Well, it's what most of our Instagram followers are thinking, because 56% of them are siding with Hellstorm in this fight.
Well, let's see if they're right. AJ9K, the results, please.
Here you are, sir.
All right, the winner of the matchup between DC's Ocean Master and Marvel's Hellstorm is Ocean Master.
No!
But it's the reverse of what Instagram thought. Ocean Master actually won 56.1%, or 561 of the 1,000 simulated matches, and Hellstorm won 43.9% of the matches.
What is happening? How is Ocean Master able to be a Lord of Hell? It doesn't register with me. The fuck is going on?
Well, it's Ocean Master's physiology and just sheer raw power. Hellstorm may be more versatile, but it's not enough to overpower Ocean Master, apparently.
What the fuck is the tidal wave going to do to Hellstorm?
Defeat him, apparently.
I don't see that happening.
I don't see any way that Hellstorm could beat Ocean Master, so...
Easily just burn him alive.
And what is fire going to do against water?
Evaporate it?
Okay, so then it turns into a cloud, which becomes rain, which then rains on the fire, dousing the fire. Pokemon rules. Water beats fire, my guy.
Stupid. Not soul fire.
Not magic water.
Ugh.
Hey, dude, it's okay. The son of Satan lost. Things are going to be fine. Did you want him to win? Yeah, that's evil, bro.
He's a good guy, even when he's not.
A good guy with the worst name that a good guy could ever have.
No, Hellstorm is a badass name. I don't care what you say.
I was talking about his son of Satan name. I can't get over how dumb that is.
I'm talking about Hellstorm.
Even that. Oh, save me, Hellstorm. No.
Save me, Ocean Master. I want you to save me.
Yeah, Master of the Oceans. Especially if you're in the ocean when you need saving.
This is dumb. I'm so ready for it to be January already. You piece of shit. AJ9K, help close us out.
Thanks for listening to Dynamic Duel. Visit the show's website at dynamicduel.com and follow us on Instagram at Dynamic Duel Podcast. You can support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/dynamicduel and joining a tier that works for you, or by rating and reviewing Dynamic Duel on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, or on our website. Don't forget to listen to the other shows in the Dynamite Podcast Network, including Max Destruction, Senjo World, and Console Combat.
In our next matchup, we are doing another Halloween spooky-esque duel, this time with two villainous sorcerers, Felix Faust versus Baron Mordo.
Yeah, that episode has been a long time coming. Can't wait for that one. When Marvel's finally going to get their comeuppance.
You have yet to learn. You will, though.
That is it for this episode. We want to give a big thanks to our executive producers, John Starosky,
Zachary Hepburn,
Dustyn Balcom,
Miggy Matanguihan,
Nathaniel Wagner,
Levi Yeaton,
Austin Wesolowski,
AJ Dunkerley,
Nick Abanto,
Scott Camacho,
Gil Camacho,
Adam Speas,
Dean Maleski,
Devin Davis,
Joseph Kersting,
Josh Leiner,
Mike Williams,
and Paul Graves for helping make this podcast possible. We'll talk to you guys next week. Up and away!
True believers.
Oh, I'm a 7th degree Imperial Yo-Yo Master. Oh, do me, Yo-Yo Master. I want you to do me because you're the yo-yo guy.